Hey there, everybody. Welcome back. We are continuing chapter 3. This is 3.4 and is on multiplying polynomials. You're really doing everything times everything. That's really what to remember. Should we start off easy or should we start off hard? Let's start off easy. Everyone likes to work up to something. I think you'll learn quicker if you start off hard, though. You know what? We'll start off mediocre. How about that? Let's do x squared plus 3x plus 2. And we're going to multiply this by x squared minus 5x plus 6. And what I mean by everything is I'm going to take this one and multiply it by everything in the next group. So x squared times x squared is x to the 4th. X squared times negative 5x is negative 5x cubed. X squared times 6 is 6x squared. I actually, when I have this many things to do, I like lining them up by their degree, like I did in the last video on adding and subtracting polynomials. Now I'm going to distribute the 3x. 3x times x squared is 3x cubed. We're adding exponents, remember? 3x times negative 5x is negative 15x squared. We'll line that up under the x squareds. And 3x times 6 is 18x. I don't have anything to line it up, so I'll create another area. And finally, we're going to distribute the 2 times everything. 2 times x squared is 2x squared. 2 times negative 5x is negative 10x. And 2 times 6 is 12. Now we add them vertically. So what do we have? We have just 1x to the 4th. Minus 5 and plus 3 is minus 2x cubed. 6 minus 15 is minus 9. Plus 2, minus 9 plus 2 is minus 7. 18 minus 10 is 8. 12. That's what I mean by everything times everything. Now, polynomials can be simpler. We could have something as simple as 7a times 5b plus 3c. Maybe I'll put that in a box so we see it's part of A. When you distribute, you got the 7a times the 5b is 35ab. And 7a times 3c is 21ac. It doesn't matter what order you put the variables in, but people traditionally do it alphabetically. It looks weird seeing BA or CA. Okay. Let's kick it up a little bit. We already did a good middle strength one, but we'll kick up from B. All right. So when I distribute there's no x or y, so I can just put them in as is. And then I add the exponents on the z. When I do it to the next one, the negatives cancel. I have positive. I add the exponents on the x, and I still have yz. Here I do it, and it's negative, and there's no x. There is a y, so I'll add the exponents on the y, and we've got z. And finally, negative times negative is positive. We'll add the exponents. We've got an x squared, we've got a y cubed, and we've got a z to the fourth power. That's it on that one. Next one is two binomials. This is what you'll probably see the most in this class. Something where we have two terms in each parentheses. If I do x times x, I get x squared. If I do x times 2, I get plus 2x. If I do negative 5 times x, I get negative 5x. And if I do negative 5 times 2, I get negative 10. You guys might have seen this before as FOIL. First, outside, inside, and last. X squared was multiplying the two things in the first spot. Outside was multiplying the two things that are on the outside. Inside is multiplying the two on the inside. And last is multiplying the two things that are in the last spot. We're not done here. We want to combine like terms. And the 2x and minus 5x go together as negative 3x. All right. Let's do another one. Let's do some more with FOIL first. I want you guys to get some practice in. Why don't you guys try, we'll do 4x minus 1. I don't know, was I labeling these? This is E. 4x minus 1 times 3x plus 2. And maybe F will be 2x plus 5 times 2x minus 5. G will be, let's do x plus 2 squared. And H, let's do 3x minus 2 squared. Pause the video and work those out. And then I will do them. I will assume you paused it. If I do first, I got 4x times 3x is 12x squared. O is 4x times 2, which is 8x. I is negative 1 times 3x is negative 3x. L is negative 1 times 2, and I get negative 2. These two combine together to make 5x. So if I put them in descending order, I got 12x squared plus 5x minus 2. Here I have 2x times 2x is 2x squared is 4x squared. Then I have 2x times 5 times negative 5 is negative 10x. Inside, I have 5 times 2x is positive 10x. And last is 5 times negative 5 is negative 25. These two cancel out, and I'm left with 4x squared minus 25. X plus 2 squared, you can't just square them individually. You have to multiply it out. So I get x squared plus 2x plus another 2x plus 4. I get x squared plus 4x plus 4. And finally, also, we can't just square them. This is 3x minus 2 times 3x minus 2. Doing first, I get 9x squared. Outside is negative 6x, and so is inside. And last is positive 4. We combine them together, and we get negative 12x for the middle. E was just good practice. F is a pattern. If you've got a plus b and a minus b, you always get a squared minus b squared. I ended up with 2x squared minus 5 squared. Oh, I put the square on the inside. Sorry, it's on the outside. That's how I got that. This one is worth memorizing. This formula is going to come up again. This formula is really, really important. It's called difference of squares. It's got a name. These two are squares and it's subtraction, so difference. G and H both follow a pattern. I don't know that it's worth memorizing because you can just multiply it out and you're going to see you get a squared. You're going to get an AB here and an AB here. So 2AB plus B squared. And if you do A minus B times A minus B, you get A squared minus 2AB plus B squared. I don't know that you save any time memorizing this formula. And I actually think it's more work to memorize it than just to multiply them out. Okay. Let's do a big one now. Let's do 2x minus 1 cubed, which is 2x minus 1 times 2x minus 1 times 2x minus 1. There's a shortcut, but you have to memorize a whole nother thing to do it. And it's better just to practice writing it out, multiplying everything out. So we're going to start off multiplying those two. I'll leave that one alone. So if I do 2x times 2x, I get 4x squared. And then I have a negative 2x from those two, and a negative 2x from those two is minus 4x. And then negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. And I still have the 2x minus 1 here. And I'm going to put it in front because I'll make it so when I just do the everything times everything, it takes less lines. 2x times 4x squared is 8x cubed. 2x times negative 4x is negative 8x squared. And 2x times 1 is plus 2x. Negative 1 times these just changes the sign. So 4x squared becomes negative 4x squared. Negative 4x becomes positive 4x. And positive 1 becomes negative 1. This ends up being 8x cubed minus 12x squared plus 6x minus 1. Okay. And I think that's good. I think that kind of, we did the, well, the first one we did, I said it was a mediocre one. So maybe I'll do a super one right now. We had 3 times 3. Let's go big. X to the 5th minus x to the 4th plus x cubed minus x squared plus x minus 1 squared. Why don't you try this bad boy? Pause it and work it out. And then I am going to work it out right now. So if I do, I'm going to call this A, B, C, D, E, and F. I'm going to label my stuff. Row A times everything, x to the 5th times everything is just adding 5 to every exponent. So I have x to the 10th minus x to the 9th plus x to the 8th minus x to the 7th plus x to the 6th, oops, minus x to the 5th. And I did it again. There we go. When I do B, I'm adding a 4 when I do the exponents, and I'm changing the sign because B is negative. So 4 and 5 is 9. And so I have a negative x to the 9th. 4 and 4 is 8, and it becomes positive. 4 and 3 is 7, and it's negative. And it looks like everything's like what it is above it. I'm going to put this right here real quick. There we go. Now it's all lined up a little bit better. Oh, I don't know. I got enough room. I've been kind of sloppy in how wide I made it. I'll have to make it narrower. X cubed is just adding a 3 to these exponents. So I have an x to the 8th. I have a negative x to the 7th. I have an x to the 6th. A negative x to the 5. An x to the 4. Let's shift this left some. Plus x to the 4. This will be plus x to the 4. And then x cubed times everyone is minus x cubed. And D is changing the sign and adding 2. So negative x to the 7th. Negative x squared times negative x to the 4th is positive x to the 6th. And this looks like it's following a pattern. It's just the stuff above it plus one more term. X times all these just increases the exponent by 1. And finally, minus 1 is just doing the negative version of that last thing. That should be a minus x right there. All right, when I add vertically, I have 1x to the 10th. I have minus 2x to the 9th. I have plus 3x to the 8th. I have minus 4x to the 7th. Plus 5x to the 6th. Minus 6x to the 5th. Plus 5x to the 4th. Minus 4x cubed. Plus 3x squared. Minus 2x plus 1. It's kind of neat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then back down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that is multiplying polynomials on crack. And with that, we will wrap up 3.4. Peace.